Hey, bedheads, I'm back. Click. Thanks for staying with me, joining me here. I just got done doing coffee with Karen with the bedheads, but now I'm doing an SG session, Lead Team Collective. So those who are just joining us for that, welcome. I decided I wasn't going to go fancy up. I was just going to keep going. So I got my old bedhead still. So we've got amazing questions here, you guys, for the Lead Team Collective to ask them. Okay. So you guys, we had done a call out on a post, a couple of them actually, and you guys had a bunch of questions, and we haven't done something like this for a little while. And I really wanted to get back to answering your questions because frankly, they're just way more interesting than anything I could come up with AI, just way more interesting. So we're going to continue to do call outs. I did a call out actually yesterday. So that is in the post area of the channel. So if you want to make sure you're notified when the call out, so you can add your own questions, then, put notification. You got to subscribe, I think, to the channel and then put notifications on. Okay. And okay, so let's get started. If you're brand new to the channel, welcome the community. We are so glad that you're here. And I do have a Start Here playlist that I will pop up at the end of this video, so you can, check it out and wonder, in case you're wondering what these are and what we're doing here. So, okay. All right. Let's see how many questions. And again, these questions are they're just all different topics. I think you'll find this quite interesting. So we have 19 questions, and then we have a small set of questions. This is interesting. So I had asked, this is a little bit of a background, and then these 10 questions. Okay. I had asked the Lead Team Collective at one point, and maybe just my spirit guides. I can't remember if the Lead Team was around then or that we were referring to the Lead Team Collective at that point. But I used the pendulum, and they spelled out a name for me if we wanted to talk to a spirit or somebody, actually not a spirit, somebody living in 2042. Okay. Like what it's like then and all that kind of stuff. They actually gave me a name of this person who we could talk to. And that was a while back. I had actually asked the community if you could talk to Eve Esser. That's the name they gave me, EVEECER, from 2042. Actually, I think now that I'm thinking about this, the lead team, or my spirit team, they gave me the date. I said, can we talk to somebody in the future, and what year would it be, and who would it be? So they gave me 2042 and Eve Esser. ECER. Okay. Anyways, so we're coming back to that. We've got some questions for Eve that you guys had, and then I'll probably do a follow-up next, okay, for Eve, because I think that it's going to be interesting. Okay. So let's see. I'll do the prayer first. So I close my aura to all but my higher self, the God consciousness, my guides, guardians, the Lead Team Collective, and only those of the highest and purest light. And ask Archangel Michael to please protect my channel, your channel, the Lead Team Collective, our community, so it is all of the highest and purest light. Amen. Okay, I have not talked to them today. So hello, everybody, to my team and to the Lead Team. Thank you so much for all your guidance, love, support for me and for everybody in this community. We really appreciate it. Any gratitude you guys can give to the Lead Team plus your own team now. If you haven't done that today, that would be amazing. So just to let them know how important their relationship with us is. We appreciate it. Okay, so you guys, I'll talk to the Lead Team here. If you're wondering who the Lead Team is, it's basically the collective of all of our spirit teams together. Some of you need to give your spirit teams permission to be a part of the Lead Team. Some are already in there. So I don't know the difference. That's just what they've told us. So if you want to ensure that your Lead Team or your spirit team is a part of this conversation, answering the questions for you collectively, then give them permission, just in case. Some of them are already in there, whether you gave them permission or not. I don't know why. I don't know the difference. That's just what I've been told. So, okay. All right. You guys ready? All right, let's do it. Okay, lead team, are you ready? Of course they're ready. They're always ready. Yes. Okay. Let's see. The Mandela effect is where many different people incorrectly remember the same thing. So is the Mandela effect real? Yes. That's interesting. Do earth angels exist? Do earth angels exist? Yes. Is it because, would we all interpret what an earth angel is though? Yes. Okay. That's what I was wondering, because is it semantics? Like, I may be thinking what an earth angel is and somebody else might be thinking something different. Yes. But from a higher realm, would you say, do you label them as earth angels? Yes. Okay. And they do exist on Earth, obviously. So they're earth angels. Okay. Yes. Are they similar to maybe Archangel Michael level? No. Are they similar? So they are human beings, right? Yes. Huh. We should do a whole session on earth angels, you guys, because I have no idea what kind of questions to ask about that. So let's do that. I'm going to just make a quick note. Earth angels. I'm going to do a call out on earth angels because I just have no idea. I don't know enough about it, earth angels. So I'll do a call out and see if there's enough interest, if you guys have enough questions. Okay. All right. All right. Question, lead team. Are we actually moving into the fifth dimension on Earth? Yes. So will there be multiple dimensions on Earth? Will Earth, let's just say in 2050, will Earth still be three-dimensional? No. Oh, okay. So will those who still want the three-dimensional experience, which is fine, some of us may be, it depends on our soul contracts. We'll be going to other dimensions then if we want the 3D experience? Ah, yes. Okay. I feel like my eye is itching. That's not what I was going to feel like. I feel like this is another session we should dive deep into. Like, what happens with the 3D? Okay, so yeah, because we don't do a deeper dive on some of these, this video could go on forever and ever and ever. Are there 3D experiences on other planets, basically, or other realms? Yes. Okay. And so is it because Source basically wants 5D to be a different experience now? Or yes? Or does Lady Gaia, Mother Earth, want it to be a different experience now? Yes. Okay. And so really the planet Earth will be used for just simply a different experience for spirits going forward? Yes. Okay. Okay, that makes sense to me. So people, spirits, we're all spirits having human or other experiences. So that makes sense to me that if collectively, Source is all of us collectively, have decided that planet Earth is we're just going to change the theme. It's like changing, it's like going to a theme park and you have different themes. If you think of Disney and you go to different, like Tomorrowland or whatever it's called, and then, so we're just changing the theme of Earth. It's rather than a 3D, it's going to be a 5D. It doesn't mean that people won't be able to still have the 3D experience if they want it. Is that true? Yes. Okay. Interesting. Are women who are spiritually strong going to be the force that brings us to the fifth dimension? Oh, yes. Okay. Do we affect divine timing the more we focus on negative people or situations? Yes. Okay, that's really good. That's a really good one. And that kind of ties into Coffee with Karen a little bit that we had today, the discussion we had. So if you missed Coffee with Karen, you can go back and watch if you're watching this as part of Coffee with Karen, then you got it. If you're watching this separate from the Coffee with Karen from today, you can always watch the other video that's out, and I will post it. I'll post it around here somewhere at the end if you want to go and catch Coffee with Karen. Okay, let's see. Is the healing of our shadows required to begin the ascension process? Yes. Okay. Do we need to be afraid of missing the ascension process if we haven't healed our shadows? Just want to make sure I threw that in there. No. Okay. Will our teams, each of us, our own individual teams, guide us to healing those shadows if our soul contract wants us to go to the fifth dimension? Yes. Okay. Maybe I'll talk about this tomorrow, Coffee with Karen, but I was thinking about, well, and I mentioned this maybe a couple days ago, but what if, like, I know people are afraid of being like stuck in the 3D, and I don't think that's the way to look at it personally. I think maybe I'll talk about that tomorrow at Coffee with Karen. I think there's many different ways to look at it without it being fear-based. Like, I'm just going to call it like stuck in the 3D. I don't think that's stuck in the 3D. I don't think that's the way to look at it personally. Okay. All right. Let's see. I kind of wanted to go back to that last one, you guys. Maybe we'll have a separate conversation about that in Coffee with Karen again. Is divine timing, are we affecting divine timing? So let me just go back to that real quick. Are we affecting divine timing the more we focus on negative people or situations? Yes. Okay. I just wanted to hear that again because I think that's really important, and maybe we start focusing on that a little bit. Like teasing that out a little bit. That would be a perfect conversation for Coffee with Karen. So I think I'll do that probably this week. Okay. Is there an unknown hidden meaning behind blood type? No. So not a hidden meaning. Is it true that depending on your blood type, different diets are actually better for you depending on your blood type? No. Okay, because I know that came up when I was talking about the carnivore diet. So that's interesting. Okay. But I mean, if it were, hey, whatever works for each person individually, whatever makes you feel good. If eating based on blood type is what makes you feel good, then that's what, then that's amazing. Okay. If a person has Rh negative blood type, is it likely they are a descendant of Jesus? Yes. See, this is why I like doing questions from you guys, because I'm like, what? When I was pulling the questions lately from AI, writing the prompts and not letting AI control the narrative, but writing the prompts myself, because I was spending so much time on like looking at the questions and stuff, by the time I got here, I was like, yeah, it's kind of boring. But you guys asked the best questions. So back to that. Got to stick to what's best, right? What's good, what's interesting. Okay. Is it true that in heaven or the afterlife, we can work in different professions if we choose to? Yes. Oh, wow. Very cool. I mean, all these alone could be dissected. Just, we will. These are really good topics on them, on their own. Okay. Do we fall into primarily one MBTI category across all our lives? No. So Myers-Briggs is what this is referring to. So personality type. So do we come, if we reincarnate, do we have different personality types according to the Myers-Briggs each time we reincarnate? Yes. Okay. Can our higher selves have personality biases in a way other than our physical selves? I'm not sure I understand that, but okay, we'll just stick with the first part. So can our higher selves have personality biases? No. Okay. So biases may be the word that might be the word that we're not understanding. I'm not understanding, but okay, are ENTPs, so extroverted, intuitives, thinkers, perceivers, mainly about releasing stuck, stagnant energy and letting it flow again? Wow, what a great question. Yes. I never thought about this. Hey, Sean. Sean's a very good friend of mine who listens to my videos sometimes, and she is our MBTI expert. In fact, I'm kind of like shoulder tapping her to be a part of the new spirit circle structure that we're working on, Sean. And because she's amazing at it and she's really interesting to listen to. But Sean, have you ever thought about like Myers-Briggs in terms of like the spiritual stuff that we talk about? That's interesting. Mainly about, mainly about releasing stuck, stagnant energy and letting it flow again. That's interesting. So yeah, Spirit Circle, you guys, I'm hoping Sean's going to join us amongst a whole bunch of other experts. So if you got an expertise in any of the spiritual areas, anything, and you want to consider being a part of the going, in many months, we're setting this up, where I would love to have like a different expert every day do a session, an hour Zoom session. So you do it like once a month. If you're crystals or if you're a medium or, just anything. It would just be really cool to always have one session going on every day. That's kind of my dream for the new Spirit Circle coming up. So if you're in the Spirit Circle right now, no worries. The structure and everything will help you get situated in the new structure whenever it occurs. Okay. Okay. So our birth certificates, the modern mechanism to create indentured servants. Oh, no. Okay, that's interesting. Are the rights of people with birth certificates lessened in the status of citizen? No. Okay. Are there star beings? Yes. Can we develop a relationship with star beings? Yes. I don't even know what star beings are. I'm going to go through this whole thing and create individual call outs on these because that would be a great session. Star beings. Would you guys like to know more about star beings? Okay. Do those who hurt us in life help us from the other side when their life review shows them how much they hurt us? Oh, yes. That's cool. Are metaphysical healing methods real? Okay, so like even the energy, yes, they are. So like the energy work that the Lead Team Collective does with us, that is real. Of course, they're going to say it's real. Of course, it's real. Yes. Okay. If you're wondering what I mean by that, there is on the public channel, there's a whole set of energy clearings. One is on money. Look at the comments in there. It's pretty amazing. And in the Spirit Circle, we also have more specific ones. And I do clearings once a week, at least, in the Spirit Circle as well. So there's the Spirit Circle is the membership for the channel, in case you're wondering. Okay, so let's see. Do those who hurt us, we already read that. Okay. Kind of lose my place sometimes. Are darker energies attempting to distort or manipulate energetic channelers? No. Okay. So now, do we all of us probably, but like someone who's doing what I'm doing, I'm quite careful about just making sure there are no trickster energy, some comedian energies. Is that important for us to do though? So, okay, so yes. So I think the part of this question, which is where you have to be careful with questions, you don't have to be careful, but I have to consider things as they're responding, is maybe the part of the question darker energies. So they could be interpreting darker energies as something different than we are. So let's say our energies, our other energies, let's just say, let's personalize it to me. Are there energies that try to distort or manipulate the conversations we're having on this channel with our spirit teams? No. Okay. Does that happen with other channelers though? Yes. Okay. But it's not happening here? No. Is that because of the type of clearings that I do? Yes. Okay. Well, that's good. That's good. I've never asked that question. So, I mean, I ask like, the law of challenge and that kind of stuff. But okay. So we have to use discernment. Like, how would we know which channelers? Just use discernment, you guys, in terms of like, if a channeler, there's some mediums that I listen to every once in a while, and I just can't resonate with them, and I don't know if it's their personality that it's harder for me to resonate with, or if it's the messaging. And maybe for me, the energies are just not right, and you probably have experienced the same thing. So let's ask this: do we need to be worried about listening to channelers who might be getting the message distorted or manipulated? No. Would we be able to discern that? Is that something we can discern for each of us individually? Yes. Okay. It's a good question. And can we ask our own spirit teams to only expose us to those of the light, those who are having light channeling experiences, let's say? Yes. Remember, you can ask your spirit teams to protect you against any of that stuff so that you can just trust it going forward. I mean, why not make it easy for yourself? Because rather than your logical mind effing us up, and then you feel skeptical, and, I've had to work through that when I've been so focused on learning about what our government's been about, and more than I ever knew. I had to pull back from that and then just tell my guides now to help me process that information and to just be able to see the truth without, always having that, like, I can't believe anybody kind of feeling. I had to work through that for sure. But just keep relying on your spirit teams. Ask your teams. They're going to help you if you ask for it. Okay. Do spirit guides get tired of us asking for guidance? Oh, that's so cute. No. Okay, good. Good. Okay, so we've got a couple questions now for Eve. Okay, so remember Eve Esser. I think it's Esser. ECER. Okay, so a few months ago, I used the pendulum to ask our SGs if there was a specific person from the future they would want us to talk to. They said Eve Esser from 2042. I didn't get around to the Q&A with Eve. My sister wrote this little paragraph, which makes these community questions about the future of society so interesting. Oh. Okay, so my sister pulled these are questions you guys had over the last couple days when we did the posts. So these questions are of the future, but we didn't get around. We're not asking Eve these questions right now. We're still going to ask the lead team, but I will do the Eve this week. Okay, I'll probably do it. What day is it today? Tuesday. I'll probably do it for Thursday. Okay, so I will do Eve those questions. Okay. We'll talk to Eve and see what's going on in the future. That'll be interesting. Okay. Will we see major foreign influence curtailed in U.S. politics? Yes. So this is by 2042. Let's just say by 20, well, let's say by 2042, because that's who we'll be talking to, somebody in 2042. Okay. Okay. Will we see a female POTUS by 2042? Well, yes, in the United States. Yes. Will this government by 2042 be restored to of the people, for the people, and by the people status? Yes. I think it'll be sooner than that. Will big money be removed from our government so that it can never be again, it can never be bought again? Yes. Will capitalism still exist by 2042? Yes. Okay. But will it be incorporated with other economic systems, perhaps? Yes. Okay. Will economics as a concept be gone by 2042? No. Will there be a possible food storage in the 2042 future? No. Will there be a food storage? See, if that's, another one of those questions. If we say possible, that can change the answer from just will there be a food shortage? You know what I mean? Okay, and I'm only going through that, one, to help me process better ways to ask questions, and two, when you're working with your own guides, Will there be a food shortage? And then we have to be specific. Let's just say in the United States. Okay, so this gets complicated. Okay, because here's the this is a perfect example. They might say, yes, there will be a food shortage, but it could be a lettuce food shortage. I can't say that word, shortage. You know what I mean? So like, I'm not going to dig down even deeper, but that question is really hard for them to answer, for us to understand, like, because yeah, there might be a food shortage, but what are we talking about? Where, which type of food? You see what I mean? So I'm not going to dig into that one, but we could do a food shortage video specifically. I don't know if that's helpful for us, but maybe it is. I don't know. Okay, let me know if that's something of interest. All right, are we making any progress here on Earth? That's the question. Yes. That's awesome. Okay, I'm going to go get a book real quick and end with why I know, or one person's theory on how we are making progress on Earth, and we'll end the video there. So I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm talking about unicorns. So this is a book that we are reading in the Spirit Circle. We're just starting today to review up to chapter 1. And so anytime we're reading a book in the Spirit Circle, it's always going to come out here in my conversations, because that's what I'm learning about. Okay, so Coffee with Karen, I'll be mentioning things, but this has to do with, are we making any real progress on Earth? Okay, so if you believe things that Diana Cooper is channeling, okay, which I do, I find it really hard to believe that somebody could write this the way without that being channeled. But so basically, unicorns are 7th dimensional ascended horses. Okay, so later in the chapter, she does say that if you're like getting near, we were talking about this. I was talking about this, I don't know, maybe in the Spirit Circle, I can't remember, or maybe Coffee with Karen yesterday, but if you're having a hard time getting your head wrapped around the idea that there's unicorns, I think that's because we've commercialized them, and it's like they're sort of, they're little children, commercialized for children basically. But they're really, if you believe that there is an Archangel Michael, then why wouldn't there be something called unicorns? And maybe there were people who channeled unicorns, or who are channelers who understand there are unicorns, who then brought that to the commercialized, you know what I mean? So it actually came from the other realm, and then it just became commercialized. Do you know what I mean? So I think for me, I had to get my head wrapped around every time I would talk about unicorns over the last couple of months. I giggle about it because I'm like, oh my God, am I believing in something my 5-year-old great niece loves? Just is this what it is? Or maybe it was the other way around. The unicorns were there and obviously we commercialized them. So just a thought. But she does say that horses, just horses, will come back to earth over and over and over again until they ascend to higher beings, just like we do. Okay. And that's the goal, is just keep ascending. Okay. Keep evolving and just getting brighter and brighter and brighter, basically. And horses can eventually ascend to unicorn status just because their light is so bright. Okay. So anyways, in terms of the question, are we making any progress on Earth? She says, so this book was written about 18 years ago. Now she does the preface in 2019. Okay, so she rewrote, but she wrote this book 18 years ago. Okay. And she said that the unicorn being that approached her, the being, B-E-I-N-G, the unicorn being said that at last the energy of humanity was rising again. This was 18 years ago. So that thousands of unicorns were reconnecting to us. They were connected to the high frequency of Atlantis back when we had Atlantis on Earth. Okay. So, and she actually says, if you're reading these words, you probably were connected through Atlantis somehow and experienced these unicorns. Like it wasn't a thing back then. It was just part of their experience. Okay. So she said, so the unicorns, because we're raising our vibration, that's the whole point of this conversation right now. Are we making any progress? Well, if this is true and the earth is raising its vibration enough for the unicorns to start connecting with us again, then we are absolutely making progress. That's kind of my whole point with this, just this part. By raising our consciousness, we have earned the right for the current wave of unicorns to touch everyone on the planet. Now, that was 18 years ago. And I'm absolutely positive, even though it feels like we're going in the opposite direction right now, I don't think so. I think the reason all this is happening right now in politics, the authoritarianism, because they're freaking out because the light is so high. It's getting higher and higher and higher. That's just my understanding on how this is working. So kind of interesting. So that validated, when I read that, I thought, oh, okay, so we are doing well. We are doing well because the unicorns would not be able to connect with us if our vibration wasn't rising. So let me know what you think about that. I'm just curious. And I will see you maybe tomorrow for Coffee with Karen. All right. Have a good one. Bye-bye.